What's up, oddballs? We've got a little surprise for you. Our first event is finally coming around. We are going to be doing a little event at the Haunted Eloise Asylum in Michigan. Kara, tell us about the details.
Okay, so the details are it is going to be April 19th, and it is going to start at 6 p.m. and go until midnight. And Zachary, what are we doing at Eloise?
We are bringing in the wonderful Lauren haunts, where we're all going to build our own investigative equipment that we get to take home with us. And what are we doing from there?
Okay, so after the workshop that we have with Lauren and we build our equipment, we're going to actually go use our own equipment that we just built, and we're going to investigate Eloise.
So we hope you all can make it. Tickets are going to be very limited. We're holding it for 20 people max. The link is down below. And Kara, let's wrap this up.
Well, we hope to see you there, and we hope you creep real, you little eyeballs.
Goodbye.
Bye. What's up, oddballs? It's Kara and Zachary, and we're actually here for a bonus episode.
It is our first episode we've recorded in a while, too, after our break, which is why Kara said...
I know. No, this is a bonus episode. It's a little bit more lax. I wasn't trying to be official.
Did you even say welcome to the shop?
Welcome to the shop.
Welcome to the Oddity Shop. We took a month off, and we don't know how to do it anymore. We've missed you, though.
We have.
And I've kind of missed you.
Thank you.
I think this is the longest you and I have ever gone without really talking. Like, we almost did not talk through this month off.
Yeah, we both had just a lot of stuff going on with holidays and family and things. And yeah, it's been a wild ride.
But we're so happy to be back, and we're so happy to be bringing you new content. So we did promise you something new for January. We do have a bonus episode for you guys today. It's all write-ins or voicemails, all your stories back at you. Before we do it, though, because we haven't gotten to talk about it, and I've been dying, and I'm sure our listeners are ready.
Oh.
The drones in New Jersey.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that I'm 36 years old now, but I don't look a day over 27.
I would say 19.
Thanks.
Yes, happy belated birthday to Kara. That was definitely what I was going to bring
now
up.
The drones.
For the drones. Have you been following the drones, dude?
I don't know if I know what you're talking about, but probably.
Oh my God. Okay. So over New Jersey, for like the last couple of months, there's been all these drones that have been flying over, and then people are seeing all these like UFO plasmoids, and they're trying to figure out if like the drones are tracking UFOs, if they're aliens, if they're like man-made, all this shit. And here's what I love most about it. Okay. If you had told me, backtrack for a second. Me and Julia are joking because 2025 is already starting off wild that we want to bring back the bingo cards that we made in 2020 for like the crazy shit that's going to pop off.
Oh, what's another thing that we can use instead of bingo cards?
That is true. I'm bingoed out. But
I get it.
These drones. Okay. You know who like the number one whistleblower on TikTok has been on these drones and giving information? Bethany Frankel. You know, like Skinny Girl Margarita, Real Housewives. She is all into these. So this is the best part, the best video I've ever seen. For
those that are not watching, that can't see me, I don't like reality TV.
She has no idea why I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, Bethany Frankel, she's a Real Housewife. She has no business talking about aliens, but she has been. And she started to realize that they started to like bury her in the algorithm. Every time you say drones, it was getting buried. So she started calling them Dior bags.
Okay, what I will say is I did see her pop up on one of my things about it, and I was like, what the hell is happening?
Right. So now she talks in code, right? The drones are Dior bags. The aliens are the Oscar de la Rentas. And now she's not getting buried. But instead of saying
That's
the government,
really funny.
It's so fucking funny. So instead of saying like the government's in charge of it, it should be like the designers. And it's all this code. So she posted this TikTok the other day. She's laying in bed. She's dying laughing. She goes, listen, I didn't realize this was going to take off. She goes, I just saw a video of a man on an oil rig talking about Dior bags, hashtag Dior bags down in his description. This straight man has never even known really what cute. A Dior bag was Dior before today. Was. We're starting a movement, and I'm so obsessed with this. I think 2025 is the year we're going to get aliens. I'm saying it right now.
Well, we've already got aliens. This is the year that we're going to see them, witness them, and hopefully get to go home with them.
Absolutely. Okay. So I'm sorry. I've been studying that for weeks. I've been wanting to talk to you and everyone else.
I love it. So great. Well, I think that's enough excitement.
Yes.
Let's get into their tales, because they want to hear their stories being told from us, which is crazy to me, but I will tell all your stories.
All right. So this first one is lengthy, but this comes from a really, really long time listener, Becky R. Actually, Becky, the first time she wrote in to say, I don't have a story. I just have to say, like, I love you guys. And that was one of our first write-ins ever.
Which is so cute.
So thank you, Becky, because that gave us a lot of energy to keep going. But now we get to read your story. Okay. So it is titled Hamilton Smartsville Road, in parentheses, Spooky Stories.
Ooh.
She starts off with, well, hello, my little oddballs. I trust you had a magical Halloween. I'm so sorry, Becky. We've sat on this one for a minute. Some time ago, I wrote in with the promise of spooky stories. While I've attempted multiple times to tell this particular tale, the universe has constantly provided obstacles. The keyboard needs new batteries. The dog chokes. Someone calls. The keyboard with new batteries stops working. Again, the power goes out. I can appreciate the humor, but it's annoying as shit.
It's actually also really weird.
Right?
Like, why can we not talk about this story?
I don't know. Becky, you should go listen to the Slider episode. See if it happens in more places.
Yeah. Ooh.
So here we go. In 1982, if my math is correct, my family moved from a rural house on the outskirts of a... Let me start that sentence again. In 1982... If my math is correct, my family moved from a rural house on the outskirts of town to a small rental after an unfortunate foreclosure. The upside was it was more centrally located, I can't speak, placing my brothers and I closer to schools and my dad closer to work. My mother, a stay-at-home mom, appreciated the closer proximity, but little else about the house. To be frank, she hated it the moment she walked in. This is noteworthy because it was largely shrugged off as her being unhappy with the move and losing her gardening space and larger living space. My two older brothers didn't seem to have an opinion either way at the time, and my dad and I actually loved it there. We moved in at the end of my first grade school year and grew accustomed to the new environment over the course of the summer. My brothers shared one of the two bedrooms in the main part of the home, and I delighted in being just across the tiny hallway and within earshot should a monster spring from my closet. You know, it's like the threat of that happening is always there. Just saying.
Yeah.
Our parents' room was fully at the other end of the house in an add-on area. That summer provided absolutely nothing noteworthy regarding the house or our time there. By the standards of my young mind, the house was huge. There was a yard big enough for my brothers and I to scramble in, a double-car garage for my dad, and a guest house in back that my mom and her sister promptly claimed as a ceramic studio. Ooh, I love that. The best part, though, was the somewhat shotgun style of the house. While I've come to know it as a ranch style, it was tweaked and added onto many times to become such. Do you know what shotgun style is? Like, picture houses in New Orleans.
I've never been, remember?
Really, really long houses that basically you open the front door, you can open the back door and see through the whole house. Yeah. And it's like things are added on.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
So coming through the front door, you could stay straight through this the section of a living room, a pass through literally into the dining room and straight through the kitchen to the back add-on. I guess had I just kept reading, I would have explained it to you.
It's okay. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. My brother and I took full advantage and roller skated through the house as often as possible. These were our days that summer. Skating, playing, settling in. The house felt as much like a home as any others we had been in. I think we were all sure at that point that Mom would come to love it too. Come winter, my parents' room at the back of the house developed a leak in the roof. This necessitated my parents moving into my room, and I moved into the bunk with my brothers. At one point, my dad made the decision to remove the wood stove located at the rear of the house. I know, that sounds terrible.
I only had one little brother. I don't want to share a room with two.
Right? And use it to replace the less efficient heater located in front of the house. Something in this action changed our everyday.
Okay, before you continue on, I just have to say, I won't name the podcast, but there is this one podcast that I listen to, and every time they have a write-in, they're always like, you don't have to explain your house. You don't have to do this. But I love when people explain their houses and how things are set up, because it gives me that perfect visual, and then I can really hone in and like understand the story. So I appreciate all of this knowledge of the home.
I do too. It's so much background, but like it paints the picture.
Yes, I love it.
Okay, so that part changed with something in this action changed our everyday. Ooh. Then it says in quotations, "Sure, Jim, I'll take your dog for a walk." Shortly after moving into my brother's room, I started waking up to my eldest brother sitting up in bed talking. It wasn't even something that I remember being afraid of. I recall vividly waking up, seeing him in the light of the windows and generous Scooby-Doo nightlight, turning over toward the wall and falling right back to sleep. As this went on, our middle brother would occasionally wake up and even mutter at him a bit. But never in our never in our kid brains did it occur to us to be alarmed. Eventually, it happened enough, many times a week at this point, that we started to complain and even make fun of him for being weird. This got the attention of our parents, but again didn't raise alarm. I'm sure they just figured he was dreaming and talking in his sleep. What did change, however, was the conversation. Then in parentheses, "Yeah, Jim, I'll walk your dogs. You better go now, they're coming."
Ew.
Okay, it's starting to get a little weird. So now she says, "This night, this one scared me. On this night, I saw, or what my 6-ish-year-old brain thinks, the outline of a person with a large dog standing next to his bed." Oh my God.
You saw it. No, but you did see it.
Oh yeah, we believe you. I screamed loud, as you should. My parents, now just across a tiny hall, immediately ran in and found their eldest talking in their sleep, my brother shell-shocked, and me in hysterics. It's worth noting that as an adult of 47, I do not believe in ghosts, and still, I immediately got chills writing this. I love that this is happening and you don't believe, but you're that skeptical listener, and I love
those
you.
Those are our
that.
favorite.
She goes, moving on. The conversation with Jim never really ended. They were just a thing my brother did. I never saw a figure or dog again.
Fuck is Jim?
We all just sort of moved on. My mom being the exception. She refused to stay in the house while we were at school, and my dad was at work.
I don't blame her, though.
Mm-mm.
She already didn't want to be there.
No. Yeah. Well, now you probably have a better understanding why she didn't like the house from the beginning. Her level of comfort there went from tolerance to non-existent. Something in disturbing the add-on in that house opened a door to very strange things. My mother would see the reflection of a man in the microwave above the stovetop when she looked up from cooking.
Oh, no. I just got full body goosebumps. Holy.
It's going to get worse. She would see figures walking from the dining room into the hallway near our bedrooms, figures in the kitchen. Knives in the drying rack had been placed with the blade down, only to find the blades had turned upright. The TV would turn on and off at will.
And how do you not believe?
Yeah, how? Seriously.
Respectfully, but how?
One day, after many months, even a year or more, I really can't say anymore, the neighbor caught up with my mom out in the garden. While having a random chat, she expressed how much she missed her neighbor and was still heartbroken by her sudden death.
Jim!
Her dearly loved neighbor, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
So now, this is where we love Becky even more. Becky does research, okay?
Ooh,
per Ancestry.com/findagrave, James Frederick Hartman was born October 4th, 1922 in Wichita, Kansas to George and Mabel. Jim was a laundry routeman and teamster before moving to California. Jim met and married Georgina, and they moved to Linda, CA. On April 29th, 1980, age 57, had a fatal heart attack inside his home. Also, good on you for doing the digging.
Yeah, I love that. Do your research.
Rest in peace, Jim. But hey, we get to carry on his legacy a little bit. Okay, so it goes on a little bit more. We're almost through. This next bit is from stories told, and I have no way to prove, disprove, or elaborate. This is strictly sharing what's been shared with me. Jim and Georgina never had children. Jim wanted children, but she never did. In their place, Jim had 2 German Shepherd dogs that he loved dearly. It is told that she hated animals, and shortly after Jim's passings, the dogs mysteriously died.
Oh,
hold on.
My God.
They were buried under what went on to become the rear add-on of the house, the part they disturbed. It is said that Georgina added onto the house after his passing in order to rent the house to a larger family, as it was previously only 2-bed, 1-bath.
What a bitch.
She did send us a link to the house on realtor.com, but she did ask us not to share it publicly.
Yeah, no.
But we can totally corroborate the pictures. She goes on to say the entire rear section of the house is gone and only a concrete porch remains. The window and window cooler at the rear wall of the kitchen used to be the door leading into the entire rear addition of the house. So the door has been relocated. Add-on's been removed along with the guest house. But so it's, it's been changed over the years. And I wonder if now that it's back to the original, if maybe that activity stopped a little bit. I don't know. But okay, so she says, I'll close with this. I do not consider myself a believer of spirits. Rather, I believe that energy can linger.
That makes sense. Okay.
That does make sense.
I get it now.
Can it linger for years? No, not in my opinion. So I'm a non-believer. That said, I have no explanations for the events in this house, nor do I have an explanation for why my computer shits the bed when I try to write this story.
I love that she addressed
Either
that.
way, I know. I thought it might have some spooky story value for you both. As always, you guys are awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. Much love, Becky R. First of all, Becky, fantastically well written. Background, research. Girl for non-believer, you nailed it. You have to believe at least a little bit if you keep listening to us, but you know what? We appreciate you either way. We love the skeptics. And I kind of agree with your energy thing, though. I think it is more energy than something else. But maybe Jim's fucking with your computer. You never know.
No, see, I think it's Georgina. I think she's a fucking bitch. She killed those dogs and buried them, then built over them. And then obviously that's why when he was saying they're coming, it might have been like Georgina's coming. Like, I've got the dogs. I got to go.
Yeah. Oh, weird.
Bitch. I said it. Georgina, you a bitch.
That was a good one. I love the length of that one, though.
No, that was perfect. I love it. Ooh, I love the research. That's my favorite.
No, that was just like, honestly, I wish you guys could have seen how it's written to, like, with the quotes and everything else. Like, well,
also, I do think that if you're going to be like some sort of a skeptic, like you do your research. Like, you just want to hone in and dive into all that. So I really do appreciate that. That's cool. Okay, great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I have one, and it is a write-in from a username called Starfighter104 _104. Starfighter, okay.
Starfighter, let's go. Probably a fellow nerd. I like them.
Probably a what?
Fellow nerd.
Oh, fellow nerd, yeah. Okay, or like a astrologist.
Starfighter is the name of like sci-fi spaceships that fight each other.
Okay.
What would he be fighting in astrology?
I don't know.
Punch Sagittarius in the face. Okay, I'm done. Go on.
If y'all could see my face. Okay. Not really personal, but my grandmother witnessed something strange in her house in the 90s. Oh, the 90s are so far away now. It's so sad.
Let's not dwell.
It was a small house with an attic. One day, she heard something running around in the attic from one side to the other, stomping very loudly. The dog that was in the house was going crazy and barking at the entrance of the attic. After some time, the stomping stopped, and she and her mother climbed into the attic to check what it was. But there was no one there. No one could get in or out of there because of the roof of the attic had no windows. In addition, in the same village, they sometimes noticed flying orbs that hung over the electrical substation, and they quickly took off into the sky. I want to note that this was somewhere between the 80s and 90s in Western Ukraine, quite close to the local former storage of the nuclear warheads. Then few people had television or radio. No one knew what it was, but it scared people terribly.
I like this one for almost the opposite reasons I like Becky's. This one's short
and sweet.
Aliens, ghosts, dogs, all of my favorite things in one, and a little bit of mystery to it. And possible frogging situation.
Yeah. See, I would have thought that it was an animal that was up there, but obviously the stomping very loudly made them think that it was actually somebody up there, because it said they went to go check to see. if somebody was up there.
And even if it wasn't somebody where they said there's no other way in or out, if it was some sort of animal, like you would have to have seen where they were scurrying in or out from. So definitely a weird
Which makes it seem like they didn't have any obvious spots of like where they could have got in and out. So that's actually really creepy.
All right.
Ooh.
So are you ready for another one?
I am.
Perfect. You're going to love this one too, because I don't have to struggle through reading it. It is a voicemail. So we're going to go ahead and play that now.
Hey, Zach. Hey, Kara. My name is Eric. You've actually heard about me previously from another listener, my wonderful wife, Marielle. You know, the famous Marielle from the Oddity Shop. And I love your podcast, first off. All right, here's my story. So, in college, at a small liberal arts college, my freshman year, I went with some friends to the haunted tunnel. In the haunted tunnel, we are told that we'll either hear kids laughing, moaning from the hanging slaves that were hung there, and that's how that goes. So when I went, it was me, a bunch of my friends, and my wife and I hadn't met yet, and we went there, we were told the story, and as we were getting in there, I was the very last person in the group to enter the tunnel. My girlfriend was to my side and quickly got behind me because she was not feeling safe. Her hands were clasped around my waist, so there was no way this was her hand, but I felt a hand raise my butt. Nobody else had ever felt something. Nobody else had ever heard anything other than the children laughing or the moaning. But yes, I had a ghost feel me up because apparently that's what they do. Love you guys, and I look forward to listening to more Oddity Shop podcasts.
Okay, Eric. First off, we love you just as much as we love your wife. So she is not the only famous Marielle from the Oddity Shop.
I love also that this was like pre them.
I know. I feel like we're getting so much of their story.
I love this.
And hopefully you guys enjoyed. They were one of the winners of the giveaway too for Patreon. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. But Eric, dude, not many people get felt up by ghosts. That's pretty cool.
I love this. This is so fucking funny.
It's hilarious. I also love that, like, you're like, yeah, so we went in the haunted tunnel. Like, you and Marielle are just like, yes, I ran to Target. It's so normalized for you guys. I am obsessed with it.
There really isn't much else to say. It's so funny.
I know. But yeah, if nobody else is going to call in voicemails, you two keep leaving them. You guys are killing it. But our number is down in the show note. Mm-hmm. And just in case you want it again, it's 616-320-4935. Okay.
You can just call us if you're bored. We don't even need a spooky story.
That is true. Yeah. Leave us voicemails of whatever the fuck you want. Entertain us.
Okay. That was really funny.
All right.
We needed that.
Shall we go with the last and final one today?
Yes, we shall.
Perfect.
All right, this is a long one, and you know we haven't been doing this for a minute, so bear with me.
Hey, you saw how bad I tried to read through. we just gotta like work on practice the skill.
All right.
You know?
So this is coming from Onyx Carpenter, and I absolutely love that name, Onyx. That's a great name.
It is a really cool name.
Okay, the subject is the dog. If a dog dies in this again, I'm done for the rest of the night. All right, here we go. Basically, it was late at night and my girlfriend randomly stopped by my house because she wasn't doing well mentally. I decided to walk her around my neighborhood until my stepdad came home. Since I had no idea where to go and my usual hiding spots from my parents was taken, I decided to take her to this alleyway between a few houses. Also, good boyfriend, though.
I know.
Everything was fine and nothing really seemed off. The only time it did was when we went deeper into it. Usually when I went into this alleyway or whatever it was called, I never went as far as I did that night. My girlfriend made a joke about how on the ground, it looks like someone had been dragged through there.
And you didn't immediately run.
Alleyways freak me out no matter what.
Truly.
After that, everything kind of just went badly. Oh no. We're trying to take her on like a mental health walk. And like, this is what happens. But good boyfriend to try to get her out.
True. Maybe not the best location, but good boyfriend.
Everything felt off about that spot, and everything about it just screamed unsafe. And I was the only one in that moment feeling it. My girlfriend was making jokes, and I couldn't stop looking into these bushes. That's when I saw a figure that was pitch black, yet had a toothy smile, and it looked like someone crouching to get to somebody's level and hide their actual height, like you do to talk to a toddler. I just peed my pants. I couldn't see exactly what it was until my girlfriend felt cold air on her right side, and I said I saw it move. The terrifying part was that we both knew that whatever it was wasn't just a hallucination. When we ran out of the alleyway, I saw it either in the corner of my eyes at first or inching its way to me. Eventually, we made it to where we thought it'd be safe and called my friend Grace. As we were, I saw it on the ground, never taking its eyes off of me or smiling. We were panicked, scared, and didn't know what was going on. My girlfriend was having her own monster or whatever it was, but I only ever heard it. After ending the call with Grace, we had to fight with my girlfriend's parents because they refused to take her home even though her phone died. After calling Grace back, that's when it got worse. We stood underneath a tree, and my girlfriend was the first to get touched. Oh my God. It laid its hand.
Touching in this episode.
I know. It laid its hand on her head and just kept it there since she was too afraid to move. I was the second to get touched. The quote, dog was climbing onto my back, using my shoulders to hoist itself up. And that's the moment I could really tell it wasn't a dog because I felt hooves. Dude, I'm fucking dying over here. I can't even finish
this is terrifying, Onyx.
It struggled for a bit until both of the creatures just kind of disappeared. And I honestly almost cried from how scared for both me and her. I would have. I don't know how you didn't cry.
Yeah, I would be.
I would have. After a bit of the crawling was over, it was almost like I heard a howl in my head. Not even in my ears or anything like that. After a while, me and my girlfriend had to part ways, but it didn't end there. Oh my God. The dog found a place to stay and surprisingly didn't want me near it. The only problem was that it was my closet. But my closet always scared me anyways. When I leave the house, it'd be right there with me and even pretended to be my protective energy that I have. After arriving to school, it was also there. Oh my God, this is horrifying. It liked when it'd sit in the back of the class because the seating arrangements, and during culinary, it got bold. This is
culinary what they call home ec now?
Well, home ec was like a bunch of different six, but like I just had cooking, which wasn't home ec, it was just cooking, so it would be like culinary.
I went to school up north, so we had one day where they bashed a fish with a rolling pin and showed us how to cook it.
That's crazy. I'm dying reading this though. It approached slowly, and I could feel its eyes just burning in the back of my head. Eventually, I heard a knock on the door, but saw no shadow of someone actually being there. So I knew it was just something to get me to be afraid. Grace eventually met me at lunch, and we talked it out, trying to figure out solutions and discussed our concerns about my girlfriend since she had a different lunchtime than us. During that, though, it never really left. It'd be behind me, use my protective energy, anything to get me to trust it. Yet it never felt human or natural, so I'd always be on my guard. It kind of slowly faded away after a bit, but to this day, it doesn't actually feel fully gone. Occasionally, I'll feel chill, like I'm being watched, or even sometimes in a public setting and my back is turned, I feel hands deliberately placing themselves on my back and slowly climbing up. Anyways, I hope my story wasn't too wordy and enjoyable to read. No, it was not enjoyable to read because that is terrifying. We need to get you cleansed.
Okay. Mr. Onyx, first of all, thank you for writing in because was an absolutely horrifying way to end this episode. But what Kara was being said, this to me, and Kara, chime in, please, but sounds like something that was looking for human attachment.
Correct.
You and your girlfriend were at least she was in a negative energy headspace. So it found sort of targets.
I'm kind of surprised it didn't attach to her, though, which is good.
So at one point in the story, he said that she had her own monster. So it sounds like whatever it was trying to get them both.
Well, that's true.
And I wonder if she just wasn't noticing it like you were because of her own state at the time.
That's very true.
Not something that I share very often, but as somebody who thinks that I've had an attachment that I had to work through, I have a bunch of tools that helped me get rid of that thing. So if you are open to it, I will respond to your email with some tips and tricks.
Reading this reminded me of yours, and let's not speak too much about it, but it's the back thing. On the back. That's what reminded me.
The back for sure.
So reach out.
Anyways, I will send you some stuff.
Actually, just
reach out if you're open to it. I'm going
just
to anyway, but we hope it helps. And that was well written too, though. And I think probably one of our most horrifying. I think it's the most horrifying first person story that we've had.
That was crazy.
So thank you.
I hope you're okay.
Wow.
Thank you, though.
We do hope you're okay. And what a way to end our January bonus.
Maybe we should have read these before. We should have ended with a lighter note one. Sorry, guys.
Oh, okay. You know what? I will end with a lighter one. Okay. So this isn't a listener write-in by any means, but it is a listener told me a story, and now I'm voluntolding them to be on this episode. So
who it be?
Because they didn't specifically write in, I'm going to not call them out.
Oh.
When they yell at me later for not calling them out, I will call them out on a future episode so you all know if they choose. But friends of mine were sitting at home when all of a sudden, now they live in an area that kind of loses power somewhat decently, or not decently, somewhat often. Frequently, that's the word I was looking for. And a lot of times they'll get brownouts. So the lights dimmed and they're like, oh, here we go. We're going to lose power.
Okay.
But they didn't. However, it got very, very cold in the room as the lights dimmed.
Was this
the
recently?
Animals started to freak out very recently. God. And then the Google Home 2 rooms away said,
no.
Hi.
No.
I'd love to talk to you about your day.
No.
So, like, have you ever, I don't want to say the words, but hi, G word. How are you? I don't want to say it because mine will turn on.
Yeah.
It was like somebody said, how are you? Or I want to talk to you or something like that. And the pets were freaking out. After a while, though, the lights came back on and the room went back to normal temp.
Yeah, that's bizarre. Write that in, whoever you are. Thanks.
Yeah. Yes. So if you are listening and you do want your names to be known, go ahead and let me know and I will call you out on our next episode. But with that, we are now fully back at it, guys. Next week, brand new episodes coming your way. Also next week, if not the week this comes out, because once again, we are back to pre-recording. We are going to have a super big reveal, surprise, something we've been working on. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one.
Well,
what else do we need to do, Kara?
That's it. This is fun. Let's just close out. We appreciate you. We love hearing your stories, even the creepy, weird ones. But just, again, like we said earlier, you can just call us, leave us a fun little voicemail, or just email us about your day. We don't care. Just, we want to talk to you guys because we're sick of talking to ourselves.
Yeah, we do it a lot.
Well, I hope that you guys appreciate that we took off this month. I hope you're okay with it, listening to some of our, older episodes that we loved so much. I know you guys understand, so I don't even know why I'm talking about it. We love you guys so much. If you listen to this, leave an emoji of a dog.
Absolutely. I was going to say dog.
A dog. And I've been a little bit more silent on social media. I'm so sorry, but I'm going to get back into it. So leave me a dog and I'll talk to you later and do all the other things that I normally ask of you. But the most important thing you can do for us is to creep it real, yardballs.
Goodbye.
Bye.